Hey loves, welcome back to another video. This is the first time. Welcome, my name is Samira. Nice to meet you. If you're returning, however, welcome back. Boo! I hope you're sticking stay. Okay. If you're returning and you're still not subscribed, we need to talk. Why aren't you subscribed? It's free. Hit the subscribe button, okay? And like this video if you enjoy it. Anyway, today's video is my postpartum journey. By the time you guys are watching this, I would have already posted my video telling you guys about how I actually gave birth a while ago and not just now. So I've had like time to like soak everything in and think about everything and reflect on everything before I am telling you guys this. So almost 2 years ago, 2021, I gave birth like in September. My pregnancy was not the smoothest one because I was very isolated, because like I was mostly alone and everything. I realized that I was very, I don't want to say depressed, but throughout my pregnancy I was very low. Like I was low on energy. Let's just say I was depressed, right? So because of that, because I had that knowledge, because I knew how I was feeling during my pregnancy, I was extremely afraid that I might get postpartum depression because I had heard a lot about it, right? So I took time to read about it, just to like be sure, just to be prepared. And if I'm being honest, right, during the time, like I was doing a lot of things, like I was planning a lot of things and trying my best to make sure that I did not get depressed, because I knew that it was possible. But after birth, right, no one tells you how overwhelming the whole situation is. And in as much as you can read about it or people can tell you about it, like no one ever fully prepares you for it. So I remember before I gave birth, right, I remember like I asked a couple of people who had given birth already, and some of them just like blatantly, like my staff for instance just told me that, hey, there's nothing like postpartum depression. People just like, usually it's just like usually just like ladies who like just want to like be sports. But for some weird reason I actually believed it, because like some of the ladies that I had heard about and everything, it was too strong to just be like someone. And being someone who has also been through depression before, I knew that it was possible. If like just as a human being you can get depressed, how much more if you've like brought a life to the world, your body has probably changed, you probably feel different, like a lot of things. How much more that, okay? And being someone who used to go out a lot, someone who used to like party a lot, who used to chill out with her friends, who used to go out and eat and just like do fun things, and then like that just turning over like 9, I just felt like it's possible, so we have to do something to stop it. When I finally gave birth, the first couple of months, like I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I don't know how those days passed by. I think we did my baby's christening like a week after. By some of the pictures, my eyes were kind of swollen because I was tired as hell. Like because the first week none of us slept, right? Like sleep who? Even though I heard that, oh, you don't sleep as much, like things are tough and whatever, like nothing actually prepared me for what came after. Because like this little angel that you met at the hospital who's like sleeping and looks so cute, it's also the same baby who like wakes up almost like every hour, every 2 hours. And from what I heard, I actually got an angel, because like I remember when my baby used to sleep like for like 2-3 hours before she'll wake up, and some people would tell me that, oh, their babies wake up every hour, and I'm like, oh wow, thank you Jesus. But I've always been the kind of person that finds it very difficult to wake up in the morning and very difficult to sleep at night. In fact, I'm convinced that I do have ADHD, but at the time I didn't know yet. So what happened was that after I gave birth, I was really struggling. I was surrounded by people who were like always on their toes, getting everything done, and I knew a couple of people who had already given birth at that time, and it wasn't weighing them as much as it was weighing me. I knew someone who had like a couple of kids, and she was just like amazing, to be honest. And here I was with just one, and I could barely wake up in the morning. I mean, I knew that I had to, so I would actually wake up when I had to, but I'll wake up extremely tired, my eyes are swollen, I'm exhausted. And then you have a baby who's like milking you like a cow. Do you guys see how calm and gentle I am about this? I don't think I can ever explain this to anyone, but it was like one of the most daunting times of my life. My symptoms or my signs were not like one of those where like you don't want to see your baby, you're so upset. No, actually mine was like I was actually obsessed with my baby, if I'm being honest. Like I didn't want to leave her alone. I wanted to always be beside her. I didn't even want to give her to other people, because in my mind it was just like, oh my gosh, she's so fragile, and if someone held her and wasn't holding her properly, or I didn't feel like we were holding her properly, like I would legit panic. But behind all that, I was also going through like serious panic attacks, the kind that you cannot breathe, the kind that you're literally lying on the floor gasping for air. I remember like being so depressed that even when she got to a year old, I didn't know how the journey had gone. So let me break it down like this, right? So I remember like during the first couple of months, my routine was that I would wake up, bath hair, brush my teeth, sometimes bath, sometimes not bath in the morning, like wait till like late in the afternoon or something, and then feed her, and then I take her outside for like some sunlight. And mind you, her dad was like helping a lot as well. Like he was like in between, he was doing all those things as well, right? But you guys, I was so overwhelmed that I could not even notice the help. Like I knew that I was getting a lot of help, but I did not feel like I was getting a lot of help, if that makes sense. This made sense later on. Later on, I saw something about ADHD and like everything started making sense. But back then, I remember like I would be like, oh, I have to go take a shower, and I would go into the washroom, and in my mind, like I was in there for like 5 minutes, right? I would check the time, and it's like, oh my god, you've been gone for almost an hour, and I'm like, damn. I remember there were nights that after like my baby's finally asleep in the evening, and I'm like, oh yay, it's time for me to go like take my bath. Then I'll go into the shower, and like I'll start scrolling through my phone because I had been ignoring everyone since morning. And I'll be like, okay, let me just go through my phone. I open my phone, sit down there, and before I know, she's crying again. I'm just like, I was going through this thing where my brain was constantly telling me that I'm not doing enough, I'm not being a good mother. I was having like serious panic attacks because I didn't have money. I was broke, to be honest. I had never been in a state where I didn't have like my account was like that low. I had never been in a situation where I had to depend on any other person because I was so used to like depending on myself. I was in this situation where emotionally I was dependent on people, and I remember during that time I would wake up and feel so empty. And the sad part was that even when I had the opportunity to go out, I didn't want to. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to be with anyone except my baby, of course. I didn't want to do anything at all. Even the things that used to bring me joy, like, I mean, I didn't have time to watch movies. Who are you? How dare you want to watch a movie? For where? I didn't have time to watch a movie and all that because you're constantly trying to get your baby to sleep. And when she does, watching the movie is not what's on your mind, right? But during that time, you guys, everything annoyed me, everything pissed me off. Like the tiniest thing will get on my nerve. Now mind you too, because it was just us, I mean we didn't have a nanny as well, it felt like there was never a break. People said, oh, it will go after a couple of months. You guys, 3 months came, 6 months came, a year came, literally, and I was still in the freaking mess. I didn't know my left or right. I remember when we were celebrating my daughter's like 1 year birthday, I was just like, how did we get here? It felt like I was there, but I was not there. Like I was doing everything I had to do, but I felt like an empty shell, just walking through, like just doing what she has to do, but I had no recollection of anything I was doing. I had no recollection of what was going on, and it was extremely sad, you guys. I was very fortunate when it came to like childbirth because like prior to that, one of my biggest fear was that what if I give birth and my body completely changes because of what I do or what I want to continue to do, which is content creation and influencing. I wanted to maintain my body, but I was also faced with the fact that if I give birth, then my body's gonna change. Because I had seen so many stories, I had seen so many times where people are extremely skinny, they give birth and they put on a bit of weight, and I knew that could be my reality. But when I gave birth, to be honest with you guys, I did not put on too much. And let me say this right now, I'm literally fighting back tears, and I would just hope whatever I'm saying is not like very shallow. But during the time, right, everyone would look at me and say, oh my god, are you sure you had a baby? Because you don't look like it, nothing has changed. But each time I looked in the mirror, I could see that everything had changed. My tummy was not as flat as it used to be. My body has changed. My boobs were not as firm as I thought they used to be, you know? Like I would see myself and feel sad. And then my other brain, like my other whatever would tell me that, what are you complaining about? You should be happy. It's not as bad as other people, which is something I regret doing a lot, which is something I want to tell any other person out there, be it your body has changed or your body has not changed. If your body has changed, I'm sorry that happened, and I hope you learn to love it and appreciate it and do whatever you have to do, okay? But if your body has not changed that much, I'm also telling you that do not feel guilty that you can see the changes but others cannot. I was going through this thing where people would be like, oh, it's not as bad, have you seen others? And I'm like, no, it's not about others, it's about me. Like I feel like this, right? And I constantly had to live with this guilt where I'm like shaming myself for not being grateful that my body didn't change as much, and shaming myself for still feeling like my body was not the same. I felt like I had lost everything within like a very short period of time, and I could not even complain about it, or I could not even cry about it. I felt like I hadn't mourned my past, I hadn't mourned my single era. And a part of me was also stuck on the fact that I had planned a lot of trips that I wanted to take. I had planned a lot of things that I wanted to do before childbirth. I don't think I had grasped how serious giving birth was until it finally happened. I don't think I had thought about the fact that once you give birth, you have a handbag for life. I didn't like fully get that until I realized that, oh, I actually have a handbag for life. And don't get me wrong, I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like even if I have to travel, I can just travel with my baby. If I want to do something, like there's nothing I want to do now that I cannot do with her, right? But at the time, it didn't feel like that. At the time, it felt like, oh, my life is over. Those parties, I have to say goodbye to them. I didn't have the energy to talk to any of my friends. I didn't have the energy to explain to them, because the truth is that my friends did not even understand me. It's different if you have like very supportive and understanding friends, and this is no shade to my friends at all. I love you guys and they were very supportive and all those things, but my point is that my friends just did not get me. Like for instance, I'm trying to tell my friend that, hey, I'm really depressed. I don't feel like my body belongs to me anymore. And my friend is like, what are you talking about? You're pissing me off. What are you talking about? How can you say that? You know, you look amazing. And I get what the person is saying. The person is trying to tell me that I look freaking amazing, right? But at the time, that's not what I want to hear. Like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm depressed, man. Like, I'm trying to tell you that, hey, I'm depressed. Hey, I'm dying. I'm slowly, like, I felt like I was sinking, you know. That's like, let me just put it out. I felt like I was sinking. I felt like there was this big hole, and I was like just going in deeper and deeper, and I was reaching out and screaming help, help, but no one could see me or no one could help. And in my case, right, I couldn't go to my mom and talk to her about this, partly because my mom is not a like average modern woman. My mom is a typical African mother, right? She did it like the hard way. She like gave birth to her kids the hard way. She raised us up the hard way, you know, that kind of thing. So she's like literally fixing everything by the horn, like she's going like so I can't expect my mom to understand me. I told my mom that I was super depressed, like she was like, what's that? You know, she understood me, but she was just like, okay. I didn't think my friends understood me enough for me to be open about it to them. And each time I tried, I felt like they were kind of shutting me up without actually saying that I'm shutting you up. So I stopped trying. So it was like I had a lot of resentment, a lot of pain, a lot of regrets. Not regrets that I had given birth, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think I would ever regret that. Like, I mean, I would have like those, oh my god, what did I just do? Oh my god, was this a good idea? But like, it was never like a regret that I gave birth. But it was always like, shit, I should have educated myself more. Sometimes I suck at explaining how I feel, and sometimes I do not know how to express myself properly. And if it does not come, like for instance, I probably have forgotten about most of the things that happen because I do have ADHD, and having that and postpartum depression mixed was super difficult, you guys. I could not remember. Like, I would go into the washroom and forget that I put this here, I put that here. I would even forget my own commitments. I would forget everything. I do not even have like a lot of videos of my daughter because I just forgot to take videos of her. And it was only after I'll do like a live update and like explain it more. I felt so alone. I felt extremely lonely. The only thing that I felt like carried me like, or like motivated me a lot, apart from like, the fact that my partner was extremely helpful, was the fact that in as much as I was tired, in as much as I felt all these things, each time I looked at my little girl, my heart would literally melt, and I would feel like, oh, this is worth doing. So in the past, right, each time I got depressed or anything, I just isolated myself from everybody. I'll cut communication with everybody, lock myself into my room, sleep, and do whatever I have to do to like get better, and then start talking to people all over again. In this case, I could not do that. In this case, I had given birth to a baby, a child who needed me, a child who could not do anything on her own, a child who literally needs me every step on the way. And I didn't have a nanny, like I said, right? And because I did not live with my mom when I gave birth to, like, I didn't have the help of my mom as well. So it was like I had to be there. So even if I'm depressed or even if I feel like shit, I still have to be there, you know. But basically, you guys, it is you feeling anxious, you feeling depressed, you feeling tired because your baby is probably always crying, you have to feed her, and while doing that you also have to remember to like take care of yourself. And in my case, I did not remember to take care of myself, you guys. For like the first year, I was like a serious bum. Okay, my hair was messy. I had not done my makeup properly in a while. While all this was going on, right, I was also still trying to come back on social media. I was trying to come back to influencing and content creation, and it was just not easy. So each time I put out content and I did not get the reception that I expect or I used to get, I'd just be like, my life is over. You know, my life is over. I'm never gonna get it again. Nothing's ever gonna go my way again. Because here's the thing, right? At the time, I was depressed. I was taking care of my baby and everything, and I would still come out and create content and get like 100 likes, 200 likes. I'm just like, oh my god. Before I would get like 1,000 likes, and now, and mind you, Instagram algorithm was acting up, right? YouTube had been going for a while, so of course my subscribers had moved on and everything, but it didn't make it easy. It just made it look like, oh yes, your life is really over. Nothing is ever going to work out for you. You're going to be stuck here forever. What happens now? What's your plan now? What's gonna happen now? It's over, it's over. I was just stuck in this constant negative vibe, negative thought, which was like kind of bringing everyone else's spirit down. Because like, I know for a fact, me, when I'm a vibe, I'm a vibe. When I'm a vibe, everyone can be a vibe. But when I'm not a vibe, it is so bad that I can feel like I'm just like dishing it out to everyone else who's close by. And that was not a time that I like to talk about. It took me 15 months to actually talk about this, you guys. Something that I thought I'll feel better in 3 months and into a year, and now it's like literally 15 months. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't think I'm completely there. I don't think like I'm completely back to being, you know, the old me and whatever, because right now I don't even know who the old me was, to be honest. And when you're with a child for so long too, it makes it even more difficult for you to talk to other people. It makes it more difficult for you to like go out there and mingle, right? Let's not even get to the fact that, you know, you lose a lot of relationships because of that, because like your friends are getting tired of you like always picking up a stranger who is not your daughter over them. Your friends are tired of, you know, you just kind of ghosting them and everything, which is understanding, because like, let me tell you something. In this day and era, friendships are based on, oh, give and take and like being there for each other and all those things. And when you can't be there for people, it's very normal for them to go like, okay, you know what, this is too much for me, I gotta wash my hands or whatever. I'm at a place now where I think I'm finally finding myself again. I'm at a place where I feel way lighter now than I did before. This year I do want to like do more for myself. This year I do want to take myself out on dates, because I don't go on dates anymore, and that used to be a thing. Okay, I used to go out with my friends, I'll go on dates, I'll eat good food and all those things. I haven't done it in such a long time. This year I do intend to like start taking myself out on dates. I do intend to start buying myself clothes, start buying myself things. When you have a baby, it's like the baby becomes the priority, right? Like you just become like a second fiddle, and I think I took that way too seriously. Like I said, I could not leave my child for even a second. I constantly had like a panic attack that something was going to happen to her. I didn't trust anyone around it. I couldn't trust her with anybody, and I think it was also because of my own trauma. But yes, I was extremely depressed, and postpartum depression is a thing, you guys. It is that thing where you are stuck in this constant feeling of guilt, constant feeling of hatred. Like for instance, each time I did not know that my daughter had to eat, or each time I forgot to feed her at the time she was supposed to eat, I would hate myself the whole day. Or each time I forgot to change her diaper quickly, each time something small happened, I would blame myself and hate myself for too long. And this whole depressive thing and all those things took literally almost 15 months. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, it took forever. I feel like I only started feeling better when like I started telling you guys about everything, like, oh, I got pregnant, I'm pregnant, or whatever. Like that was when like I realized that, oh, I was beginning to feel myself again. And I'm so glad and I'm so happy to be creating content all over again. Of course, the views and whatever is not the same as it used to be, and it might actually take a while to get you guys back on board, but I'm really happy to be back, and I'm so happy that some of you guys waited for me. Those of you who are still here, I'm grateful. I would forever be grateful, and I don't think I can say this enough. Thank you so much for holding me down. Let me know in the comment section if there's anything else you want me to film, and I'll definitely put a question thing on Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do that, and maybe on YouTube as well, so you guys can ask me all your questions. I really hope 2023 is our year. Happy New Year to you guys. I've not said that, and it's already January 12th. Samira, I'm late to the party. Okay, until next time, I love you guys so much, and